Welcome everyone, my name is Amin and I am a tutor and examiner at this center known as the ateamacademy. We have exclusively created this channel to bring you the latest updates on exams, studying tips and general well-being advice that can be a benefit for all students out there. So do consider subscribing if you wish to stay ahead. Now that the dust has started to settle and it's been confirmed by the exam boards that you guys are going to be awarded with GCSEs based on teachers' estimated grades, I'd like to know how many of you agree with this system, or do you think this is going to be unfair? Leave a comment down below and let's see what most of you are thinking. So whether this will be working in your favor or even in the case that you're dreading it, I just want to take some time out, breathe for a second, and let's just reflect about things for a moment. The first thing I want you to understand, and unlike the other channels here on YouTube, I'm not going to be saying the same thing that everyone seems to be repeating on about how you need to be studying, revising, being productive at this moment in time. I know that you need some space to digest everything around you, and hopefully by now you've accepted the situation in front of you. There's no point trying to persuade you to do something that's unnecessary at this point in time, especially if you've made your mind up. I'm sure that since you're a mature young person, you've given it some serious thought before you started disposing of your books or notes, because if you haven't and there's a need for you to go back and redo some of these tests, it won't be a pleasant feeling. You can be assured of that. Try and understand this though, the GCSEs were meant to be the first proper test that you would have undergone as a young person. These exams weren't just an ordinary test. They were designed to test a whole range of things like your discipline, your ability to apply yourself, your growth in the last 5 years, and overall your ability to deal with and work under pressure. That's why you see a significant difference from mock exams to the real thing. Some people are able to step it up significantly, and whilst others end up crashing. This is why it's called a process. That's why there's a lot of frustration and disappointment roaming around. Now look at it from this perspective. By you not undertaking this process means that you haven't gone through the nervous nights before the exams. You won't be going through that satisfying feeling of ticking off each exam from a long tedious list. And the real downer is when you do eventually get your grades. Believe me on this one, even if you were to end up with grade 9s, it just won't feel as satisfying as it would if you underwent the real thing. Look, some of you will be happy with what you get and would want to move on to the next chapter of your life, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. For some of you, this system may work wonders for you. There will be some of you, when you do eventually get your results, you'll feel a real joy, but deep down inside, you'll know that you may have had a lucky hand. If it was myself, I don't know, maybe it's because I wouldn't want to walk around with an estimated grade over my shoulders for the rest of my life. And I know they said that it'll be the same as all the previous years, but come on, as soon as any uni or employer sees 2020 stamped on your certificates, immediately they will correlate it to that class of COVID-19. That alone is motivation for me to go and see what I would have actually got. Let me also put this another way. If I was awarded a grade, even ones that I'm happy with, do I really want to walk into A-Levels, which, if you haven't gathered by the way, is no walk in the park? And for more info on this, then do check out my video for year 12s. The link is somewhere above here. As I was just saying, would I want to walk into A-Levels unproven and having never sat a proper official exam? That's actually a scary thing to consider. And don't just take my word for it. Go ahead and ask any A-level student about that. On that note, there are two things you can be doing right now. You can chill for the next 5 months of your life. Since you're locked up in your homes, you can continue getting up at 5 p.m. and playing video games and Netflix into the early hours of the morning. And I'm being serious here, I've got nothing against that. But let me tell you one thing, after a while, it does get a little mundane and you'll be feeling mentally drained, and boredom will no doubt kick in. You can even find yourself feeling down, and especially with how amazing it's looking out there, it's not that difficult to fall into despair, and things can quickly escalate from there, affecting your mental health overall. You know, if you're done with the GCSEs, then why don't you start doing things throughout your day? Explore your interests, get creative, maybe look into things that seriously interest you. This could be a fantastic way of building your passion and perhaps even paving a direction for a life you want for yourself in the future. Alternatively, you could also do some reading up on A-Levels or whatever course you're looking to pursue. Don't think that's nerdy, as by the time you get onto the course, you would have had almost 6 months of school. Just think back to having 6 weeks off from school during the summer holidays and how much of an impact that usually has. Now envision 6 months. And lastly, if you still feel that chip on your shoulders that I was referring to earlier, irrespective of what others are telling you, if you want to be one of those in life that want to walk around with your own accolades that you've earned for yourself, for the efforts that you've labored for, and not handed to you because a teacher liked you or felt sorry for you, then maybe just maybe, you might want to prove to yourself that you want to go ahead and sit these exams at the next available opportunity, which is looking to be around September time. In this case, there is no better time to not only do well, but really execute this and take out all of this apathy that surrounds us and vent it out on these upcoming exams. Well, I hope that you can go away and act upon this advice. I sincerely hope that it helps you in some way. If you'd like to DM me anything, you can do so on Instagram, as some of you have already began reaching out on there. Again, we are here to provide help and assistance during this difficult period, so do consider subscribing to the channel. My name is Amin, and I will catch up with you another time.